Okay. So in this class we'll discuss about the intraembryonic mesoderm and its derivatives. Okay. I gave assignment last time also to study and come the derivatives of all the structures. If you know the basics, this will be your, what is this? This is the 3 germ cell layers. Okay. This is going to be your ectoderm. This is mesoderm, then followed by endoderm. Okay, so on the either side here we are going to have amniotic cavity, on the downside we have yolk sac. Okay, this is the structure. Now imagine I am removing this amniotic cavity completely and watching the structure from the above, from the top view. Okay, once I watch this structure from the top view, this is how exactly the structure will look. So this is going to be your entire mesoderm part. Okay, we are removing amniotic cavity followed by your ectoderm also, and I am watching from the above, from the top view. So we have mesoderm. So this is going to be your entire mesoderm. Okay, in the mesoderm we have 2 important structures like this. One is precordal end and another one is caudal end. This is going to be your precordal plate or end. Okay, and this will be your caudal end. Okay, precordal end will give rise to your which membrane? This is the upper part of the body and this is the lower part. So which membrane we can see here? It will give rise to your buccopharyngeal membrane. Basically the mouth part. Okay, and this is the caudal end. Here we can see the development of cloacal membrane. This is called as cloacal membrane, which will basically give rise to your anus part. Okay, so this is like from mouth to anus, the whole structure. Okay, between these 2 ends we can see the presence of a rod-like structure like this. Okay, this will be your notochord. This is going to be your notochord. Okay, now on the either side of the notochord we are left with mesoderm part, right? So this mesoderm part is divided into 3 parts again. Right next to the notochord we can see a layer of cuboidal cells like this. Cuboidal cells, okay? Like this. Okay, next to that we have one more vertical structure like this. Remember, these structures are present on both the sides. I am drawing only on one side. So now this will be the first part and this is going to be the second part, and whatever remaining, this will be the third part. Is it clear? On either side of the notochord we have 3 parts of mesoderm. In the first part we can see the arrangement of cuboidal cells. Next to that we have a vertical structure, and whatever the remaining part is there, that is called the third part. So what are the parts of mesoderm? This is the early stage development. We are still discussing about 20 to 30 days discussion this is. So what are the parts we can see here? No, like I am asking the parts of mesoderm, the names. I already mentioned 3 parts. So what are the names of those parts? Okay, that will come under your notochord discussion. So the very first part, this is called as Paraxial Mesoderm. Okay, this is called Paraxial Mesoderm. And the second part, this is called as intermediate mesoderm. The last, whatever the remaining third part, this is called as lateral plate mesoderm. This is called as lateral plate mesoderm. These are the three important divisions of your mesoderm. Okay, and we have to discuss about the derivatives of these three structures. First, we'll start with the paraxial mesoderm, which is a cuboidal cell-like structure. Something like this. Okay, so now this will be the dorsal side. Okay, this is going to be the dorsal side, and this is the ventral side. Next we have medial side, and this is the lateral side. I am just discussing about one cuboidal cell now. Okay, we have dorsal, ventral, medial and lateral sides. And this cuboidal cell is divided into two parts diagonally. Okay, not vertically or horizontally, we'll divide the structure diagonally. Okay, so now these part together called as, what it is called as? Ventromedial part. Ventromedial part. Okay, ventromedial part, and these two parts together called as dorsolateral part. Dorsolateral part. Okay, now this entire ventromedial part is also called as sclerotome. Sclerotome. Okay, and your sclerotome will later give rise to which structures? Sclerotome will later give rise to your vertebrae and ribs. Okay, the sclerotome part will later give rise to vertebrae and ribs. Okay, now the dorsolateral part is again divided into two parts like this. Okay, this is going to be the medial part and this is going to be the lateral part. And the medial part is called as myotome. The lateral part is called as dermatome. Together they are also called as dermomyotome. Remember the term. Together they are called as dermomyotome, but separately if you want to study, the lateral part is called as dermatome. The medial part is called as myotome. Now tell me, what are the structures we can see from this? Dermatome. Okay, dermatome will give rise to derma, skin. Yes, dermis of skin and subcutaneous tissue. Subcutaneous tissue. Okay, what about the myotome? Myotome, skeletal muscles. Okay, skeletal muscles followed by, and say it louder please. Myotome, skeletal muscles followed by tongue and diaphragm. Okay, tongue and diaphragm. Is it clear now? Any doubts? So your entire paraxial mesoderm will give rise to vertebrae, ribs, dermis of skin, subcutaneous tissue, skeletal muscle, tongue and diaphragm. Any other structures from the paraxial mesoderm? Any other structures? Your paraxial mesoderm also give rise to base of skull and muscles of head. Okay. So how many derivatives are there total? Can you count it and tell me? How many are there? Vertebrae, ribs, followed by skin, 2 parts, dermis of skin and subcutaneous tissue, then skeletal muscles, diaphragm, tongue, then these two, base of skull and muscles of the head. So total 9 structures. Okay, this will be your 2 marks or 3 marks question sometime. Derivatives of paraxial mesoderm. Next, we'll go to the intermediate part. What are the derivatives of intermediate part? Any idea? Intermediate part. In previous class only I have mentioned about it once. Okay, no problem. We'll go to the third part now. I'll come back to the second one again, okay? So in the third part, that is in your lateral plate mesoderm, we can see a presence of valves like this. Okay? Valves. These valves are, shall I clean this? Is it finished? Any doubts in the paraxial mesoderm derivatives? No doubts? In the lateral plate mesoderm, especially in the upper half part, we can see the presence of valves. And these valves are nothing but spaces. Okay? These spaces will join together and form a canal like this. Okay? They will form a canal. What that canal is called is your assignment question. Just one single name is there, it is given in your textbook, check it once. Okay, so now this canal is present as a reversed horseshoe shaped structure. Okay, and this structure is called as intraembryonic coelom. It is nothing but your intraembryonic coelom. In the previous class, I have just mentioned directly about the point. It will form the intraembryonic coelom, but I didn't mention how exactly it is formed. So basically, in your lateral plate mesoderm, we can see the presence of valves-like structure. Okay, these valves-like structure will later combine together to form a single canal, which is present as a reversed horseshoe-shaped structure. And this whole structure is called as intraembryonic mesoderm. This intraembryonic mesoderm will give rise to 3 cavities, 3 important cavities of the body. What are those? Okay, pericardial, followed by pleural cavity, then one more. The last one is peritoneal cavity. All 3 cavities starts from P. Okay, pericardial cavity followed by pleural cavity followed by peritoneal cavity. These are the important structures that will arise from your lateral plate mesoderm. Later, how the development of your GIT, how the development of your respiratory system and your cardiac system, everything we are going to study through these cavities only from the next classes. Okay, so this is going to be like a basic introduction to study the systemic embryology. So is it clear now? Lateral plate mesoderm have a canal which is called as intraembryonic coelom. The coelom will later give us 3 derivatives, that is pericardial cavity, pleural cavity followed by peritoneal cavity. From here onwards we are going to study about the systemic embryology. This is also part of your general embryology only. Okay. Now we'll come back to the first part, this part, paraxial part. The cuboidal cells which I have mentioned, no? These are specially called as somites. Okay, these somites basically appears on 20th to 30th day, that is in the first month, between 20th to 30th day. Okay, and how many pairs of somites we can see? 44 pairs. At this phase, we can see 44 pairs. Okay. Here also we have intermediate and para, something like that. That I'll discuss later. Once we start with your systemic, we will discuss that. But remember, in the early stage, that is between the 20th to 30th day, we have somites. The appearance of somites takes place, and we can see total 44 pairs of somites. 44, not 44 number, 44 pairs. MCQ question. Okay. So is it clear? Any doubts in this? Until what we have discussed? Any doubts? No doubts? So your lateral part will give rise to cavities. What about the intermediate part? What structures? Urogenital, yeah, right. From the intermediate part, we can see the development of your kidney and glands. Okay, here especially for a kidney, we have one important structure called nephric duct. Nephric duct, okay, that I'll discuss when we are discussing about the development of kidney. But how that structure form, everything I'll discuss at that time only, because it will take more than half an hour just to discuss the basic. So if I discuss now here, later when we go to this chapter, you will forget. So we'll discuss together at that time only. Okay. So remember, the intermediate mesoderm will give rise to kidney and glands. Which glands? That also we'll discuss later. And remember the one word, nephric duct here. Okay, this is all about the interembryonic mesoderm and its derivatives. Any doubts? Any doubts in this?